This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with a 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute, and available reclining lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
The podcast you are about to listen to contains at least one of the following: strong language, disturbing topics, abusive opinions, generally things that aren't appropriate for little kids or overly sensitive people. So, if any of that stuff's going to get your nose out of joint, this is your chance to turn it off. Welcome to I Had to Say It, the podcast where I talk about things that I feel need talking about, and sometimes they're not getting the attention they deserve. And your feelings, they're not under consideration. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of I Had to Say It. We're going to start the show off as we do now with a quick acknowledgement of my faithful supporters. Well, to the wonderful people who felt the need to subscribe to support me, there will be another supporter exclusive episode coming out very shortly. Hopefully before the holiday weekend is over. But that being said, quick shout out to Josh, Jake, B-Word and the Iceman on Patreon, and Jason and Miss Aaron through Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you guys for your continued support. It means more to me than I can adequately put into words, which is ironic because you guys found me because of me using my words. So anyway, the holiday season is upon us, and I say that without any real intent of alienating anybody or anything like that. But something I've noticed recently, and I've been kind of contemplating, is a lot of people are saying anybody that says things like Happy Holidays or whatever are waging some kind of war on Christmas. There's not a fucking war on Christmas. There's really not. We're in the tail end of November at this point, and it's already, there's been Christmas decorations up since 2 days before Halloween. It's not directly a war on Christmas. Now, there is a lot to be said for the idea that the Christmas is being co-opted. It's definitely much more commercialized and being used for sales and to drive people to consume and buy things. And a lot of that's because, the meaning of the holiday has gotten lost along the way, as it were. And it's become more about things like that. And that's where people that want to complain about a war on Christmas, that's where they should be focusing on. Not that people are saying happy holidays or people are acknowledging that there are other belief structures outside of Christianity. That's why I say a holiday season, because in the span of a month and a half, give or take, there's 25 different holidays that all fall, and they are celebrated by different groups around the world for different reasons. There's Thanksgiving. There's other Thanksgivings in other countries, on other days, and other months in some cases. But ultimately, there is Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Yule, all Tet. There's just all kinds of stuff that comes up in this time of year where it's whatever society, whatever culture, there are different things that are celebrated. They are considered holidays. So I really don't see that, things like people saying happy holidays or whatever, that's not an attack on Christmas. It's not people waging war on a belief structure. It's more just being considerate and acknowledging that there's more than one thing out there. And I really don't have any patience these days for the people who are out here complaining about the war on Christmas. I mean, like I said, if you hadn't pushed your shtick so hard that it could be commercialized and mass-produced and marketed, and all the movies and the commercials and the TV specials and all this other horse shit that goes on, that is all just, rampant consumerism. And I'm saying this is somebody that's completely pro-capitalism. I do believe in the power of a capitalist economy, but when you push your shit to be the primary set of standards, to when you go into things with a mentality that this is the only holiday or whatever it is, whatever it is that's got the fundamentalist Christian types really bent out of shape. And it's funny, too, because, some of the really more hardcore Christians, they don't celebrate any holidays. They don't think it's right to celebrate. And, that's their option, whatever. Personally, I as much as I am kind of a sourpuss and a Grinch, and I haven't really enjoyed Christmas in a long time. And then I for a long time I didn't. And then I kind of tried to get better about it for the sake of my kid. But now he's grown, I can kind of move back on to just sort of enjoying the day. I like having the time off. I like having a reason and an excuse to see people I haven't seen in a while. I like being around family. I like the idea behind the holidays. I don't, the ridiculous, buy, give me the best presents, buy my love, all that shit. I'm not really too fond of that part of things, but I like the concept behind it. I like the idea behind it. I like the idea of celebrating that we're all kind of decent people, and it's a time of year where we can look back on the past year and look back at the things that we've done and kind of reminisce fondly about things, see people you don't get to see on a regular basis, making a point to kind of foster that, family and the more positive aspects of things, the things that, the things that are supposed to be what the holidays are about. When you get past the whole, buy me the shiny new thing, make me happy, tell me you love me by emptying your friggin' bank account, that kind of stuff, it doesn't do it for me. But the idea, good food, good company, seeing people, just being decent fucking human beings for a change. And I don't really know how this year is going to pan out. There's with just the current state of the world, I'm kind of hoping for a Christmas miracle. And I'm saying that as somebody who doesn't identify as particularly Christian at this point. But it would be nice to see everybody just stop being so shitty for a little while. I don't expect it to last real long. Just human nature being what it is. The media, the politicians, all these assholes that are out there constantly turning us on each other, emphasizing the differences, highlighting the reasons why people aren't the same, why they aren't treated equally, whatever it is, whatever bullshit the agenda they're basically trying to push. I really kind of hope, I don't know about you, but I need that little breather, that little break, that little chance to restore a little bit of faith in the rest of the world, seeing people actually act a little bit more decent. And in our American society today, I can't even really say it's necessarily a religious thing, but people do seem to get to be a little less shitty around the holidays, in spite of the marketing and the consumerism and the push for, buy. Your value, your worth is measured by how much you spend and all the other horseshit that's fostered on us. We still manage to just kind of be a little better. And I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't necessarily attribute a lot of it to religious aspects, because you got a lot of people out there that don't necessarily subscribe to those things. But the general overall tone and demeanor, that does impact everybody else around you. We don't exist in like a completely isolated state. We have to kind of homogenize and balance out. And when you're around a bunch of people that are trying to be nice because it's the holidays, regardless of the underlying motivations, it's a little easier to be nice yourself, and it kind of has a ripple effect, And it's nice to see. And I'm thinking that's what I'm hoping for this year. I'm hoping after the absolute garbage that's been going on for the last couple of years, we get a nice little reset. We have our made for Christmas TV moment, our Hallmark movie moment, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm not planning on moving to the woods and falling for the hunky contractor who, he's always a little scruffy, but he's got a heart of gold. And I had to leave my big city job to go back and run the family inn or whatever the hell, else they put on Hallmark movie. I don't know. I don't watch that shit. It was a valiant effort. I tried. Give me a little credit. Honestly, that stuff only gets turned on because occasionally my wife accidentally lets autoplay turn something like that on. She's not even into that crap. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. So that's the point. That's kind of the dream. That's what we should be shooting for, what we should be looking for going into the holiday season. But then maybe we can remember that that same attitude doesn't have to just be restricted to the holidays. That's how we should realistically be doing things all the time. It should be that way, year round. Just, I'm not saying be all cheesy and stupid happy all the time, but being a little more positive, being a little kinder, a little more understanding, a little more forgiving on a slightly more regular basis. Now, I'm not getting away from my statement of, stupidity should be painful and certain things do need to be called out and do need to be put on blast and do need to be told about themselves. I'm not by any means saying forgive the entitled motherfuckers who are trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm not saying we need to look and redress everything to make those people happy, but you still have to prioritize yourself. You still have to make sure you're doing what's best for you and yours before you worry about the feelings and the butthurt individuals out there that are going to try and make everything all about them. And those are really the people that are kind of going to be shitting in the cornflakes about these things. And hopefully, the people that are going to be decent during the holidays can kind of capitalize on that and keep, paying it forward, keep doing it, keep the thing going. And maybe we can put all these inconsequential fucks back in their place, remind them that they're not nearly as important as they think they are. They don't dictate to people based on their little feelings and their emotions and all this other shit. And that's one of the good things, as I can say it, is there's starting to be some pushback against that. There's starting to be the more like, no, you can live your life however you want, but I don't have to go along with your bullshit. The degree of my participation in your horse shit is not what you want it to be, and because I don't have to. And it's really kind of important when we get back to that whole, you need to respect yourself enough to not prioritize someone else's needs and wants over your own. And people will say, oh, well, that's selfish. Yeah, it fucking is, because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. And I guess I'm going to take a little break here, stick in an ad real quick, and then I'll come back.
Hey, this is Ken M.
And Padawan J.
from the ODPH podcast.
Each week, we talk a parlay of topics.
That's right. Whether it's sports, pro wrestling, movies, TV, comics, and more, we've got a take on it.
And don't forget, odphpodcast.com for links for Patreon, TeePublic, and the Parlay Points blogs, and much more.
Thanks for listening to the ODPH podcast. Now back to your regularly scheduled show.
Okay, so thank you for listening to that. Go check out Ocho Duro Parlay Hour. It's a good show. Talk about a lot of stuff. It's cool. A couple good guys. Go check it out. Anyway, so the second half of this episode, this is going to be a short one, guys. I got a bunch of... Basically, it's the same things spooling around. I think it's still COVID brain, if I'm being completely honest. But back to the holidays, and there's so much potential for us to, be better, to get back to where we should be. And realistically, the best thing we can do to achieve that goal is we just got to kind of unplug. We got to get back to, I hate to be one of those people that like romanticizes the past, but the last couple of years between the pandemic and the lockdowns and all the other horseshit that's been going on, if it showed us anything, yeah, we've adapted, we've gotten more active through social media accounts, but social media is not real, and we have forgotten that. People get way too convinced that their different social media accounts are what reality is. That's how life is defined, and that's part of the reason people are so shitty. I just feel like we need to get back to face-to-face interaction. We need to get back to being able to talk to each other and interact with each other on a realistic, personal basis. There's a saying that goes around in the online communities. It's go touch some grass. And that's not bad advice. Now, granted, here in the States, we're coming into the really shitty part of the year for going out and touching some grass, but the concept is sound. What we need to do is we need to get back to having real face-to-face human interactions. We need to get back to actually talking to people. And on the other side of that coin is we need to get back to the point where some people have gotten way too used to being able to just spout whatever bullshit's on their mind without getting punched in the fucking mouth. Now, I'm not advocating that you go out and randomly assault people, but, sometimes people are going to say some shit because they're going to forget they're not behind their keyboards, so be prepared for that. And I'm not advocating going out and hitting random sons of bitches in the mouth, but sometimes the mouth just needs punching. And there are definitely some people out there with extremely punchable faces. You just have to be the bigger person and not do it. And I know it's hard. Believe me, I understand. There are people every day I would like to punch in the face, but I don't, because I'm just too pretty for jail. So in this rather abbreviated pre-Thanksgiving episode, that's kind of my message for you guys. As we're going into the holiday season, kind of try and kick it up a notch, right? Embrace the ideals behind the holidays, even if you don't want to celebrate the holidays themselves. I really doubt anybody that listens to me on anything resembling a regular basis is, one of the people that's going to be like, oh, well, this Thanksgiving is bullshit because this is all about stealing indigenous, da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's a whole nother conversation we could have as to why I'm not, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving to celebrate the pilgrims coming here and robbing the indigenous peoples of their lands, because I don't live in the past. That shit's all done and over with, and there's no point in whining about it. And to the people who constantly piss and moan about how ridiculous it is and get all bent out of shape because they're offended about something that happened before their great-grandparents were fucking born, grow up. Get some fucking real issues that you need to worry about, and stop worrying about shit you can't do anything about. There's literally nothing you can do about shit that happened 300, 400, 500 fucking years ago. Get over it. Move on with your life. Go touch some fucking grass. But the spirit of the holidays is what we should be celebrating, even if you don't want to celebrate the holiday itself. Embrace that opportunity to go out and be nice to people, to spend time with your loved ones, to spend time with people you wouldn't normally get to spend time with. It's not just about celebrating all this whatever. And if you are one of those people that's all bent out of shape about this shit and you somehow found your way into this podcast, I really hope you can go back, listen to some of the other episodes, and realize what I'm saying is trying to make you a better fucking person. Not for my sake. I don't honestly care whether you're a better person or not. I think it's going to benefit you in the long run if you learn some realistic ideals. And you'll be happier if you learn to live in the real world and not in a world full of imaginary, made-up fucking insults and things that really aren't worth getting bent out of shape over. And to be a little callous about things, if you can't get past the fucking bullshit that whatever thing you're bent out of shape about for whichever holiday you're looking at that you don't want to celebrate it because it's X, Y, and Z, and you somehow want to, the general philosophy seems to be, white people bad. So if that's what you're hung up on, my ultimate message to you is you deserve to be fucking miserable because you're doing it to yourself. You're getting bent out of shape over something that's stupid, that you can never properly redress. And you being a miserable fucking prick about it and trying to ruin everybody else's day benefits no one. Grow the fuck up. Get over it. Move on with your life. Stop making yourself fucking miserable. And subsequently, by making yourself fucking miserable, making everybody else miserable too. As much as I hate to harp on this factor, happiness is a fucking choice. No matter how bad your circumstances are, no matter how bad the world's treating you, you're never going to be able to completely force the world into something that's going to make you happy. The only thing you can adjust is the way you react to what the world does to you. And that's what you need to do. You need to get your shit together, put on your big kid pants, and fucking grow up and just let it go. All these miserable fucks that are out here trying to get bent out of shape over these stupid fucking things that realistically, in the grand scheme of things, don't fucking matter. It's artificial indignation. They have no meaning and no value to their lives, so they try and create it by adding these stupid fucking issues. And they make themselves miserable. And since they're miserable, they think nobody else should be happy either. It's like they think they're being these big social justice warriors or whatever the cause, or however they justify their ridiculous fucking spoiled tantrums, when realistically their inability to find meaning in their lives is making them miserable. And it's a selfish act. They say they're doing it for the people who can't do it for themselves, but realistically they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it so they can find some sort of savior complex, some sort of like, look how pious and how fucking great I am, because I don't actually have any real accomplishments to point to. So I'm going to generate strife and grief, and I'm going to make everybody else fucking miserable because I don't know how to be happy. So I don't think anybody else should be able to be happy either. But I'm going to force everybody else to live according to my standards, because if everyone lives my way, then I'll be happy. And people don't understand. That's not how it works. You have to adjust your own mentality. You cannot adjust the rest of the world to accommodate yourself, because it's never going to fucking happen. And when you're living with that expectation, you are never going to be happy. So that being said, happy holidays, everybody. And here's looking forward to the coming year, the coming season. And for now, that's what I had to say. Thanks for listening to another episode, guys. If you liked what you heard, leave a comment, leave a review, leave a rating. Go to ihadtosayitpodcast.com, sign up for the mailing list, interact with the show. Click the links, sign up for the Patreon, join the Discord, come and interact, be a part of the show, buy the merch, support your favorite creator, or support me. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Till next time.